Welcome back, movie fans. Just in time for Halloween, I am here with my 50 favorite horror movies of all time. 50. This here is my fiance, Jolene.
Hey.
She's here with me today. She's going to keep track of the movies. That way I don't mention one twice. And as I list them off, she's going to let us know if she's seen it or not.
Because I don't watch very many movies.
So, this should be interesting. Now, if you watched my movie list for a while, I go by the earliest to the latest instead of rating them, because that's not something I do. So, let's start off with the earliest, from 1931. It's a classic.
I know I haven't seen this one.
Bela Lugosi, the great Bela Lugosi, as Dracula.
I've seen the clips, so.
Have
with
you?
his pointy teeth and... Yeah.
It's a movie I truly love. Very well done, especially for the time. But look, watching it now, you kind of question, this was supposed to be extremely scary back in the day. But I love it. Another one from 1931. This time with Boris Karloff as Frankenstein. Have you seen Frankenstein?
Not that 31 one.
Okay, well, it's
Mary Shelley's.
It's great. Boris Karloff is just a great Frankenstein. So that's part of the reason it holds up so well for me, because he did such a great job as the monster. How many people get Frankenstein confused with the scientist? You must have heard that debate a couple times in your life.
No, Frankenstein is the monster, the guy he put together to create. Yeah. What is the name of the scientist? Do you remember?
Frankenstein. He's Frankenstein's monster.
Ah.
Yeah, that's where the debate comes from. People think the monster is Frankenstein.
Yes, it is.
So we're going to skip ahead all the way to 1960. This is also the movie, the first time a flushing toilet was shown in a movie.
The shower scene.
Psycho.
I didn't watch all of it. I've seen parts, but yeah.
Anthony Perkins in Psycho. It was a controversial movie, too.
Yeah, because of the shower scene.
Yeah, because when they filmed the scene, he told her that nothing will be shown on the screen. And it turned out, obviously, that there was, if you've seen it.
No.
So, but she only did it because she didn't think it was going to be shown. Because she wanted to wear a bikini in the shower and stuff. But it's like, it doesn't really need any kind of info about Psycho, because I imagine if you're watching the video, you've heard of Psycho before.
There's a newer Psycho, is there not?
Unfortunately. With Vince Vaughn.
That's the one I watched.
Yeah. It was like a like a shot-for-shot remake. And I mean, it wasn't terrible, but it doesn't compare to the original.
He was a good Psycho.
Vince Vaughn, yeah.
I enjoyed his Psycho-ness.
I don't really care for his comedy, but anyway, Anthony Perkins. Ooh, Alfred Hitchcock again. All the way. Actually, it only skipped ahead 3 years. 1963, The Birds. I watched this when I was a kid.
Yep.
It didn't make me scared of birds. It's weird, because I was kind of a anxiety-ridden kid, you'd think. But The Birds.
I remember Alfred.
I've only seen it a couple times, so I can't go into a lot of detail about it. But I did enjoy it a lot. I think partly because my parents loved it when I was a kid, so. And I mean like a kid.
Well, yeah, it's 1963. And
Yeah.
You weren't alive.
Oh, the next one. 1968. Night of the Living Dead. It kind of kickstarted Mummies as we know it.
Never seen it.
Really? Oh.
No.
I still remember, for me, it's the opening scene where the brother and sister are in a cemetery and the guy's tormenting his sister. They're coming for you, Barbara. And then a zombie does show up and all hell breaks loose. But that's one of the few movies, Night of the Living Dead, where they remade it later on, and I like it just as much as I do the original. Like, it's one of the very few remakes I've seen where I actually did like it as much as I like the original. But I decided to include the original on here. Just because.
Bring it closer to the year he was born now. 1974. With?
The Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Isn't that Leatherface?
Right. Leatherface, yes.
And isn't he Ed Gein supposed to, like...
Yeah.
Who's
loosely
born August
based
27th?
off Ed Gein.
Loosely, very.
It's No, I'm gonna be honest. This is one of my favorite horror movies of all time, but I've actually only seen that one. I think maybe twice.
That's more than I.
I've watched the sequels, but for some reason, throughout my life trying to find. I've been finding it really hard to find.
Newer ones aren't so bad.
No, the newer ones are easy to find, but the original, it's proven very difficult for me to find it. I imagine I probably could if I lived in a bigger area, but look where we live. So the next one's from 1975. That surprised me. I never thought of it as a horror movie. But in researching the video, it is listed under horror.
Anything that shows blood or something that could traumatize somebody is classified as horror.
Jaws.
Da, 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 da.
Steven Spielberg. Wait, was it Spielberg? My mind drew a complete blank there for a second. Sorry about that.
Somebody did it.
Yeah, but Jaws was great. People were petrified to go in the water for a long time. If I remember when I'm done my list, I'm going to talk about one movie in particular that I heard about my entire life, how scary it was. And I watch it as like, that's why it's not on the list. But if you remember, remind me to bring it up. The next one's great. Early John Travolta. Sissy Spacek, 1976.
John Travolta was in that? I know.
Yeah.
I've seen it, but I don't.
Yeah. John Travolta was in
Stephen King.
Carrie. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Stephen King's first novel, Carrie. I don't remember if I've seen the remake or not.
I have.
It is becoming a miniseries. We were talking about that last night.
Like it as much as I did the first one.
But Carrie, yeah, that movie was just very well done. It's one of the first movies that actually creeped me out. Like, it didn't scare the hell out of me, but it did creep me out. Like, what a good job. Sissy Spacek owned that movie.
It was a good movie. I liked that one particularly myself.
All about Sissy Spacek.
1978.
1978, Dawn of the Dead.
I've never seen it. I've seen Shaun of the Dead.
Oh, Shaun of the Dead was good too. But Dawn of the Dead, another zombie movie. I don't remember this one as much, but I remember watching it a lot when I was a kid. That's why it's weird that I don't really remember a lot of details.
And it probably never left as great as impact as others.
Yeah.
Still in this year of 78. What's the next one?
Halloween. That's the movie I like to call the one that started it all. Well, like, it started not the horror movies, obviously, but Friday the 13th started as kind of an homage to Halloween.
Really?
Like Michael Myers, Freddy Krueger, Pinhead. I don't know why I call Halloween the one that started it all, because technically shouldn't it be Texas Chainsaw Massacre?
Actually,
but that was supposed to be a standalone.
Really started the first ever horror movie.
Like the horror monsters, I guess. Like the slashers. Halloween started the slashers.
The actual murderers that could possibly be real things.
Yeah, Halloween was just... I don't need to talk a lot about Halloween, because that's just an absolute classic.
Another one in 1978.
Did you know that Michael Myers' mask is actually a William Shatner mask turned inside out?
No, I'm not interested in Halloween.
No, but that's what it is. It's actually William Shatner Star Trek mask, but they turned it inside out and painted it white. But anyway.
Good Canadian actor.
I wouldn't say good, but he is Canadian.
Well, that's good for that time period.
I'm not a Shatner fan whatsoever.
Still good.
Sorry, Shatner, if you happen to be watching this, but...
Another movie, 1978.
The Toolbox Murders.
Never heard of it.
No, you'd be surprised how many... Actually, you probably wouldn't be surprised how many people haven't heard of that one. It's one of those really... It was made just to watch girls screaming and running around. Like the killer's going after the girls. But
that type of movie just drives me crazy. It's like, dumb bitches.
Now the next one.
1980.
Prom Night. Oh. Prom Night, I watched that probably 24 times with my sisters when we were younger. It's about a group of teenagers, obviously, because it's about the prom. And one of them, well, they keep dying. One by one, people keep killing them. And you find out at the end who it was and why. Which, if you pay attention, which I was younger, so I didn't really pay too much attention. But looking back on it now, you should have known who it was right away. But very well done, and it's actually kind of touching.
It's not on here. What year was Happy Birthday to me?
It almost made it. It actually almost made it.
I like that movie. It was the
Great
first-
movie, by the way. Happy birthday to me. But up next is another just all-time classic,
1980.
1980 again, which honestly threw me off because I thought it was 78. But The Shining.
Shiny.
The Shining.
Nice.
This is on a lot of people's favorite horror movies list, and it's Stephen King's least favorite adaptation of one of his books. Because he said Jack Nicholson, while a great actor, Jack looks crazy all the time. Where in the movie he was supposed to slowly go crazy. But Jack just has that look about him. But I love Jack Nicholson. One of my favorite actors of all time. He really is. He's retired now. But The Shining, don't really need to talk about that one too much. They go to Overlook Hotel
I've seen it.
for the winter. Yeah. Great movie. If you haven't seen The Shining yet, check it out.
1982.
The Slumber Party Massacre. Another one of those movies that was made just for a killer to torture the girls.
Sucks.
Yeah.
For other people's opinions. I don't know. I've never
Some of
seen
these
it.
movies are admittedly very bad.
Corny.
Yeah, like you ever hear the movie category so bad it's good?
No.
Like Howard the Duck, awful movie, but I love it.
Never seen it.
You're not missing a whole lot, but it's one of those movies like it's so bad it's good. I enjoy it.
Ooh, another good movie coming up in 1983.
Yeah, we actually just rewatched this.
Mm-hmm.
Another Stephen King, Christine.
Yeah.
FYI, my favorite Stephen King book of all time. It is, but Christine about the Plymouth. They kind of play it differently, where it regenerates itself if you drive it and has a mind of its own. It's possessed by the former owner, George LeBay.
I don't know.
We just watched it too.
I just know the car was psychotic. And you think it
Yeah.
would have been a female because men usually call
Yeah.
them girls.
Well, it is named Christine, but it was possessed by
Mm.
the guy, right? But
Still good. Stephen
good
King.
movie.
1983 yet again.
Oh, this falls under that category of so bad it's good. Sleepaway Camp. Have you seen that?
Nope, never even heard of it.
All right. The girl goes to the sleepaway camp, obviously, during the summer. People start dying, and I'm not going to tell you the twist at the end, but there is a twist.
People died.
It's shocking because at the time it's like, oh my God. Like, but people keep dying, and you find out who it is, and everyone's just blown away. But it's very corny. Acting, not great. Not good acting. Scenery's really good, though. I do like the scenery where it is
Yeah,
at
I've
a
seen
summer
it.
camp. But it spawned a bunch of sequels, which I honestly can't remember watching, but I know I did. That's how much of an impact they made on me.
None.
Yeah. Another Stephen King.
1984.
Children of the Corn, which they
I-
remade and
I didn't-
was as good.
Didn't fully watch it, but bits and pieces. Blonde
Linda
hair.
Hamilton.
Creepy children.
Oh, yeah. Linda Hamilton. All the kids, for some reason, I don't think they really explain why they do it, but they kill all the adults in town. Linda Hamilton and her husband or boyfriend, I don't remember if they're married or not, but they're going through town, and there's Malachi. He's the tall redhead that helps.
You're talking to somebody who doesn't
Yeah.
know the movie.
Malachi was awesome back in the day. I mean, he was a villain.
you can have awesome films.
Yeah, but I don't remember ever seeing that guy in much else at all. I'm going to have to look that up. Whoever played Malachi in Children of the Corn, I want to see him in other stuff, see how he does. But Children of the Corn, my sisters and I watched that probably about 50 times. Just because. And then we avoided cornfields for a long time.
Another 1984 movie.
Ooh, okay. My favorite horror franchise of all time is Friday the 13th.
How many in total?
13.
When did they start?
When did it start? 1980.
Okay.
Yeah. But my favorite is 1984, Friday the 13th, Part 4. And they lie in the title, the final chapter. It actually was originally supposed to be the last one. The film debut of Corey Feldman. The great
don't
Crispin
think-
Glover. I love Crispin Glover. But it was the film debut of Corey Feldman.
I've seen a few of those. Not sure which ones are what. I've seen the first one and the second one for sure.
And it introduced the character of Tommy Jarvis, which is the only Friday the 13th character that was in more than one. Corey Feldman played Tommy Jarvis, who stopped Jason when he was a kid. Then Tommy's in part 5, Tommy's in part 6, but it's not Corey Feldman because they aged the character.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Corey Feldman is in part 5, but only in a small clip. But Friday the 13th part 4 is my favorite one. I don't really have any particular reasoning why, but a part of the reason is Crispin Glover's dance. That is part of the reason. Awful death, by the way. Poor Crispin Glover. Yeah. He gets a corkscrew.
It's not as bad as the girl that was in the sleeping bag and Jason went
Oh,
poof against the thing. Tree.
That's one of my favorite Friday the 13th kills. This
that
sleeping
was just
bag.
horrible. I
And
don't know
then-
which one that's in. I just know that
And
one.
the woman got the gardening shears through the eyes, and
he's quite the machete
Oh.
guy.
Jason's a rude son of a bitch.
Well, it doesn't make sense to me why he grew up as an adult when he died as a kid. It's not.
It's not supposed to be logical. We'll get
It's
into
not supposed to be.
we'll get into something else that doesn't make sense later on down the list involving Jason.
Ooh. Another 1984 one. What is it?
A Nightmare on Elm Street. Johnny Depp.
Johnny Depp.
The amazing, classically trained Robert Englund as Freddy Krueger. They tried to remake that too. I should say they tried. They did it. And if you've watched my movie videos in the past, I said I've paid to watch one remake in my life, and it was A Nightmare on Elm Street.
How many are there?
Nightmare on Elm Street, including the remake or not?
The
I think there's
original.
been about 8 or 9.
Okay.
Like, I honestly don't remember.
I've
but,
seen one of them, I think.
like,
Couldn't tell
the
you.
original Nightmare on Elm Street is my favorite one of the series. You know, there's been some good ones. Like, Dream Warriors was great, with a great soundtrack. Slaughter does it. But Nightmare on Elm Street, Johnny Depp gets sucked into bed and all the blood comes up, and just...
I like the cartoon that made fun of Nightmare on Elm Street. I don't remember what it's called, but I remember
Great
stuck.
movie. Absolutely fantastic. It's a classic, so if people are watching this movie because they like horror movies, don't have to talk too much about it.
1985.
1985. Okay. This is by far my favorite vampire movie of all time. Fright Night.
I may have seen it. You'll have to.
They remade that as well. Fuck that movie. Just Stephen Jeffries plays Evil Ed. And, okay, Charlie's a teenager, lives...
Somewhere.
Yeah. But a vampire moves in next door. But anyway, he has a girlfriend named Amy. She wants to fool around. All he wants to do is watch his favorite horror show.
Do you notice a lot horrors? They
Yeah.
fool around and do that kind
Yeah,
of stuff.
but he's
You
so
wanna do
busy
that?
watching his horror
Get
stuff.
killed.
Then he suspects his new neighbor is a vampire. Of course he is, or it wouldn't be much of a movie. But
Obviously.
Evil Ed was my favorite when I was a kid. He was like my favorite character in all movies. Just amazing. I won't get into what happened to the actor that played him. But Fright Night, by far my favorite vampire movie of all time. And as I've told you, vampires are my favorite horror monsters of all time. There's like 6 vampire movies on this list. And we've gone to what, 2? Dracula, Fright Night. There's more coming, just so you are aware. But Fright Night, just all day Fright Night. We should watch Fright Night.
1985. Another one.
Another Stephen King.
Ooh. Never heard of it.
Silver Bullet, about a werewolf.
Well,
With Corey Haim. Corey Haim's in a wheelchair. Gary Busey plays his uncle. Where Corey Haim's in a wheelchair. Gary Busey buys him some fireworks and rockets and stuff. So he's out setting off rockets at night. And he gets attacked by a werewolf. So he fires a rocket at it. And it takes out the werewolf's eye. So they're trying to figure out who... It's a small town. So it's not hard to figure out who it is. They're trying to find out who's wearing an eye patch, who's missing an eye, then we'll know who the werewolf is. And just
did it work out for them?
so good. It's based off a Cycle of the Werewolf by Stephen King. They changed the name for the movie. But
Just like The Body.
yeah. But just Silver Bullet's my favorite werewolf movie. And probably one of my favorite Stephen King movies of all time.
1986.
April Fool's Day.
Never seen it that I'm aware of.
April Fool's Day is one of those ones. It is considered a horror movie, but it could also be considered like a comedy.
I love comedy horror.
It's like a whodunit.
Like
But
a Clue.
yeah, but the twist at the end is the reason why it may not... Some people might not consider it a horror movie.
Who cares?
But
if there's guts, gore, or dead body, it's a horror movie.
it's
Unless it's
I watched it a lot growing up, and I realized how bad it is. We'll watch it sometime. I actually found it on VHS at a yard sale years ago. Couldn't tell you what happened to it, but great movie. They remade that one as well. Haven't watched the remake. Don't plan
two body
to.
snatchers on this list.
No.
Okay. 1986 again.
Another 1986.
Actually,
Jeff
there's a couple.
Goldblum, The Fly.
I have seen that horrible.
That is a remake. That itself is a remake, but I actually prefer this one over the original.
I don't like it.
But Jeff, no, it's. I got a weak stomach, so parts of it were kind of gross for me. But just Jeff Goldblum. I would pay to watch Jeff Goldblum read a fucking phone book. I really would.
Why?
His voice and just his mannerisms and everything about Jeff Goldblum should be a national treasure. But The Fly is just
I
amazing.
think he'll appreciate that.
Oh, he would, because he's awesome.
Another one from 1986.
Another one's been remade. It was terrible. The Hitcher.
Never...
I'm not going to try and pronounce the actor's name that plays the Hitcher, because I have trouble pronouncing his last name. It's Rutger Hauer or something like that. But a guy's driving, he picks up a hitchhiker, and a hitchhiker turns out to be completely...
insane?
Out of his mind, and he ends up killing people and trying to kill the guy who picked him up. I mean, this is the guy who takes the guy's girlfriend who picked him up and ties him between a transfer truck and the trailer and threatens to rip her apart if...
That could be the best physiotherapy
Like,
for spine.
It is... It's one of those movies where apparently people were scared to hitchhike for a while after that movie. Or pick up hitchhikers, I should say.
That probably...
Yeah, like, see a hitchhiker? No, fuck you, you're walking. But, because he did such a great job as the hitcher that you actually thought the guy was crazy. He plays a good psycho. He played the head vampire in Buffy the Vampire Slayer movie. It was him.
The, blonde hair.
Yeah.
I know who it is. I just can't...
Amazing actor. Very underrated actor. He's one of those underappreciated people.
We're at number 26.
Are we really?
Next one's 26.
Another Stephen King.
It's a good one, though. My kids loved it.
Stephen King directed this movie. Completely coked out of his head. He actually was. He said he had no business directing that movie.
It was great.
Maximum Overdrive with the great Emilio Estevez. And Lisa Yeardley, who voices Lisa Simpson. No, Maggie. No, Lisa...
One of them.
She voices Lisa Simpson, but I just remember her real name. It's either Maggie or Lisa. I'm pretty sure it is actually Lisa. But about the... I guess it's Comet or something, isn't it? Where all the electronics start to come alive and control themselves.
Something to do with that.
And that very famous transfer truck with the demon head that reminds me of Green Goblin from Spider-Man. But... And what a soundtrack.
My kids loved it.
AC/DC all day. Love the soundtrack, but I can't really tell you too much about it because it is electronics coming to life, and
oh yeah, there was a pop machine that would spit at cans to kill people, like,
and even a lawnmower, like
chase people. Oh yeah.
So
don't trust those electronics. 1987.
Okay, this next one. I love Friday the 13th, Halloween, Nightmare on Elm Street, but I didn't want to saturate my list with like Friday the 13th Part 2, 3, 4, 5.
I don't blame you. I would just classified it as one big movie that never ended.
So this is the only franchise on my list with 2 movies listed. Prom Night and Hello, Mary Lou, Prom Night 2. Whom a lot of people believe is actually better than the original Prom Night.
Sometimes that happens.
But it had nothing to do with the original. Like, there's no characters the same. Like, they actually changed the story completely for it. But
that's probably why they like it better.
A girl gets possessed. But I found the first one a little bit more realistic than the second one. Mm-hmm. If you will watch it sometime, you'll see what I mean. But she gets possessed, starts classmates, but Hello, Mary Lou, Prom Night 2. That's another one we watched a lot as a kid.
Weird. Next one is really good. I love this one. 1987. What is it?
Another vampire movie.
It's a great one. I don't care.
Before I mention the name of it. Okay. Jason Patrick. Keith Sutherland. Bernard Hughes. Corey Haim. Corey Feldman. Diane Wiest played the mother, right?
I don't know.
The Lost Boys.
Love it.
Love the soundtrack. Gerard McCain's Cry Little Sister is just a
That's a good
classic
one.
song. Best song on the soundtrack, other than The Doors, of course. People Are Strange, but
The opening song.
yeah, but that's an older
Love it.
song. But
It's a good
Cry
song.
Little Sister was just amazing.
It's a good one.
The Lost Boys is just awesome.
Well made, well done. I don't even care. And I don't really like a lot of movies. So with that being said, it must be something.
It's also a movie that helped feed into my phobia of I can't even say the word of what they are because
maggots.
yeah. Like it started with Poltergeist. I believe I told you that. It started with Poltergeist. Then Lost Boys. Like even now, I'm 47 years old.
That was just a hallucination.
If I see one, I can't eat. Like I've actually gone like almost a week without eating because I've seen a bunch of them once in real life and just.
You know it's really gross when you see them in a meat.
No, can't do it.
It's gross.
But Lost Boys, I don't want to talk too much about it because if you haven't seen Lost Boys yet,
You
you're
need to shake
watching
your
this
head.
video, like, where have you been?
Well, unless you're born after a certain time period, it may not be interesting. 1987.
Near Dark, another vampire movie. This is one of those movies where I know I watched it a lot when I was younger. But I don't really remember the story. But I do remember it's brutal.
It's about dark.
It's a brutal vampire movie. I believe it takes place in the country. I think it's a group of friends get stranded or end up befriending a bunch of cowboys or something. Like, I don't want to say too much in case I'm completely off. But it is a movie that I just...
Enjoyed?
Yeah, it's one of my favorite vampire movies along with Fright Night and Lost Boys.
1988.
Another remake. I like this one more than the original as well. With the great Kevin Dillon, The Blob. Oh, my sisters and I watched that a lot. But it is considered a horror movie, but this big blob from outer space as it eats things and people, it gets bigger and bigger, and the townspeople are trying to stop it. And just such a good movie.
Never seen it.
We'll have to watch it sometime. It's about a big blob of fucking goo that's alive. But
it could be a big snot ball.
could have been. We don't know where it came from. It just came from space and shit. So.
Another 1988 one. And it is...
Pumpkinhead. If you've been watching my videos for a while, I've mentioned it before. My friend Mike and I rented movies every weekend.
Blockbuster.
And we loved horror movies, so we rented Pumpkinhead. Like, yeah, we got movies to watch tonight. Like, we put on Pumpkinhead, like, okay. The great Lance Henriksen's in it. His son gets killed by, I want to say a group of older teenagers, but they could have been early 20s, dirt biking. They accidentally hit his kid, kill him, and he wants revenge. So he takes the body to, I guess, I believe they called her the old witch doctor in the woods. Who yeah, got him to resurrect Pumpkinhead. And Pumpkinhead gets revenge on your enemies. And the first time it shows Pumpkinhead, my friend Mike and I shut the fucking thing off. It, honest to God, it took us 6 years to finish that movie. Now it's one of my favorite horror movies of all time. But Lance Henriksen, for a horror movie, he did a really good job acting and conveying the, like, he just lost his son. He wants revenge. He has regrets, and just very well done.
We haven't left 1988 yet. What's the next one? Come on.
The next one's Corey Haim. Watchers.
Never seen it.
He finds a dog. The dog's a scientific experiment. He finds the dog in the back of his truck, kind of adopts it. He calls him Furface, I believe it is. And find out there's another scientific experiment that's a monster whose job is to hunt the dog.
Oh, that's horrible.
But
that's an awful thing to do.
that's all I want to tell you about it, but it's really good.
I'll never watch that. Fuck that movie.
He doesn't hurt the dog.
Okay. I mean the monster. Fuck
Yeah.
that big meaty dog.
But it's I really enjoy it. Like, Corey Haim made some good horror movies. He was in 3 on my list. Watchers, Lost Boys, and Silver Bullet.
1990.
1990, Tremors with the great Kevin Bacon
I've seen it.
and Michael Gross.
And Big Worms.
Yeah, really big worms.
Isn't there a Tremors too?
Oh, there's like a Tremors 5 now.
What the
But
hell?
not to be confused with the sandworms from Beetlejuice. Reba
I thought
McEntire
Tremors
was in it
similar.
too.
What? Tremors?
Yeah, she
been
played
a
one
while
of the
since I've
town
seen it.
folk. Where there's big sandworms. I don't remember if they explain where they came from or not, but there's like 3 or 4 of them, and they're obviously stuck because they go underground and they're fast
The
as hell.
worms.
Yeah, but Tremors was really good. I enjoyed that one a lot. It's one of those movies where I haven't seen it since the 90s. But I would like to.
I didn't see it in the 90s, I don't think.
Ah.
Yeah, who knows. So we're going to speed up a little bit to 1992.
The next one is a sequel to a Stephen King movie, not written by Stephen King. No affiliation to Stephen King whatsoever.
Just the movie.
Yeah, Pet Sematary 2.
Never seen it, I don't think.
With Edward Furlong.
Maybe.
The great Clancy Brown. The great Anthony Edwards. Where it opens with Edward Furlong's mom dying. She was an actress. And she died on set.
So they decided to bury her in that cemetery, didn't
Not
they?
right away. Him and Anthony Edwards moved to, I guess it's Anthony Edwards' old hometown, and he meets his friend Drew. Clancy Brown plays his friend Drew's stepdad, who's a dick. He shoots Drew's dog because the dog got into the rabbit, so he killed the dog. So Edward Furlong and Drew take the dog to bury. The dog comes back, kills Clancy Brown. But then Edward Furlong decides, I want my mom back. And I'll leave it there. But
bad move.
Really good movie. Like, I actually like part 2 more than I like the original.
If your mom's dead, just leave her die.
Yeah. Don't go to the fucking Pet Cemetery.
Don't bury her there. Come on now. 1994.
Edward Furlong again. Brain Scan.
Never seen it. Or heard of it.
He was in an accident when he was a kid. He has a limp. He was, I guess, car accident. Killed his parents. So he's like this kid lives on his own. Who loves horror video games and stuff. So he mails away for a video game. And it's like a virtual reality type thing where you do the killing and stuff like that in the game and stuff and find out it's actually happening.
Oh, like that movie. Oh, it's about a video game, but it's actually about Bathroy. The kids play a video game and he's learning the game and they have to go kill Miss Bathroy. It's a horror movie. It's a good movie. I like it. I have it out in the living room. I just don't remember what it's called.
I'll have to watch it sometime. Brain Scan is really good though. It's once he realizes it's actually, because he thinks he's just playing a game, like what can I do? But excellent movie.
So 1996, good one coming up.
You seen this one or the one after?
Oh shoot, I haven't seen this one. Good one coming up after.
Okay. The next one is starring one of my favorite actors of all time, my childhood hero, the only actor I've ever written a letter to in my life, Michael J. Fox.
Great Canadian actor.
Love Michael J. Fox, but he plays a guy who can see ghosts. So of course he takes advantage of that by
Exploiting people.
Yeah, exorcising people's houses and stuff, and ghosts follow him around. Like he gets the ghosts to go shake the cupboards, and then he pretends to get rid of them and gets paid.
How's it a horror?
It's not exactly, but it's like a horror comedy because there are scary parts in it. Some of the ghosts, because a ghost does show up who wants to kill a bunch of people, and
evil entity.
Yeah, an evil entity shows up that's not as helpful as the other ghosts that he knows. So it's up to him to stop him because he's the only one that can see the ghosts and stuff like that. Jake Busey, Gary Busey's son, plays a serial killer who's on death row and shit, and just I enjoy it a lot. It doesn't get the love it deserves.
Another one from 1996, which I actually do enjoy.
And another vampire movie.
It's a good one, though. I got a techno song from this one. Oh, yeah. Pussy Lovers.
George Clooney, Salma Hayek, Danny Trejo, and my introduction to Quentin Tarantino. Because I've seen this movie before I watched Quentin Tarantino's directing, like Reservoir Dogs and stuff. From Dusk Till Dawn.
Mm-hmm. Pussy Lovers. Cheech is in it. We got red pussy, yellow pussy, black pussy.
Cheech Marin is another guy who should be a national treasure, by the way.
He is.
Yes. But From Dusk Till Dawn, what I liked about that is it started off as you thought it was just a hostage movie. Because George Clooney and Quentin Tarantino are on the run. They take a girl hostage. Quentin Tarantino goes fucking ballistic and remember slaughters her in the motel. Like, anyway, we won't.
Do I remember? No.
It was awful. And then they go in a strip club to take hostages, and you find out that's fucking vampires.
It's a bad strip club to go into.
But
isn't that guy the big Mexican-looking guy in that one?
Danny
too?
Trejo?
Is that his name? I don't know. I just know he's a big Mexican looking guy.
The great Danny Trejo.
The machete.
Yeah, he's had a life.
Yeah.
But From Dusk Till Dawn is just tremendous.
I don't appreciate this one as much as he does. That's for sure. Another one for 1996.
Scream.
Yeah.
It's one of those movies where I watched it. As soon as it was over, like the reveal of the killer kind of blew my mind. It started the trend of horror movies making fun of themselves. Like they acknowledged they're a horror movie in the horror movie, and great cast though. Like Nev Campbell, Skeet Ulrich, Matthew Lillard, another national treasure. Yep.
Scooby-Doo. Actually, he plays a good psychotic guy.
Oh, he does.
Quite a few. On Five Nights at Freddy, he's in it too.
Yeah, Matthew Lillard is amazing.
We appreciate you, man. Keep up the good work.
If I'm lucky enough to have Matthew Lillard watching his video, I love you. You're amazing. Just keep doing what you're doing. We appreciate it so much. I'll watch anything with that guy in it too. It's true.
1997.
This is a movie not many people heard of.
No.
I believe it's a Canadian film.
Oh, that's probably why.
Called Cube. Like 6 or 7 people wake up in this room. No idea how they got there. Nothing. So they open a door and there's another room. And they find out after a while it's just a big maze of rooms moving around. So they go from... But the problem is each room has a trap.
Kind of reminds me of the one where the... Oh, wait. But Saw?
Yeah, kind of.
Kind of.
But they obviously want to escape, but every room has a trap in it of some sort. And where it keeps moving, there is no real way out. It was really well... It surprised me to find... Like, I watched it the first time. I've never heard of this. I'll watch it. And I liked it a lot.
I have to interrupt here for a second. Have you seen Hospice?
I believe so.
That is a... Whew. That's a horror movie that...
I'd have to watch it again to remember it, though.
Yeah. People from Hospice go disappearing. It's nasty. I mean, it's probably good nasty, but it's still nasty. 1997.
Okay. To mention this one, I have to give a shout out. Because I did a video last year asking my viewers for ideas. Like, recommend a movie, I'll watch it, I'll review it for the channel. This is actually a viewer recommended movie. Bikes and Bud. My cousin Chris.
It's like it's not even on here. Oh, Event Horizon.
Event Horizon. He recommended that, and I watched it. I was like, that's like one of the best recommendations I could have gotten. Because I'd never seen it before.
Where does it take place at?
Space.
I thought so, because the Event Horizon has a lot to do with space.
Yeah. He got me to watch it, and I told, like, great recommendation, because I end up loving it. And if a viewer recommends a movie, you don't know what you're going to think of it. So I appreciated that one a lot, because it became one of my favorite horror movies.
The next one's really good, and it's from 1999.
House on Haunted Hill.
Yes.
Well, I could have picked that one, or the
The Haunting?
Yeah, like, there's a bunch of movies like that around that era, but House on Haunted Hill...
It's good.
Where strangers get $1 million if you survive the night.
And you know, the person that's supposed to be putting it on is one of the main scary people. What's his name? His voice is so very familiar with horror movies.
It wasn't Vincent Price, was it? Because I believe he was dead.
Yes, but it's his voice. That's the guy who was putting it on. If I'm not mistaken, I could be wrong.
I think he did it in the original as well, because that's a remake.
So the next one in 2000.
2000. We're getting there.
This one's a little scarier because it could happen.
Yeah.
I liked it.
Final Destination.
The first one.
It had a couple good sequels, but nowhere near as good. Where the class is going on a class trip, and Devin Sawa's character has this premonition dream that the plane's going to explode, so he...
Doesn't go.
He, like, panics on the plane, obviously, and... Him and a few other people end up getting kicked off. Then the plane explodes. And death doesn't like that.
Yeah, no. It's fate. Don't try to fuck your fate over, because your fate will find you, no matter what.
I had a good cast. Kara Smith is in that one.
Who?
Kara Smith.
Don't know.
He was on Dawson's Creek. He played Jack. But
I didn't watch that either.
He played Carter. The one with the leather jacket. His girlfriend gets hit by the bus
It
in front of him.
was. Oh, I
Okay.
remember the girlfriend getting hit by the bus.
Yeah, well, it was his girlfriend.
But I don't.
He's also in the next one.
2002. We are now on our number 8.
It's also the last vampire movie.
Ta-da!
The Forsaken.
I don't know if I've seen that or not.
I've only ever seen it once or twice, but I really enjoyed it. Keir Smith again. I believe it's his brother or just a friend. They're going on a road trip and they end up picking up a hitchhiker or something. Vampire. Just, I don't want to tell you a lot about it because it's one of those vampire movies where you have to watch it for yourself. I don't like giving too many spoilers. Like some of them I could talk about, like Nightmare on Elm Street. Because if you haven't seen Nightmare on Elm Street yet, I can't really spoil a movie that's like 50 fucking years old. Or is it 40 years old?
Who knows?
It's old. It's almost as old as me.
Number 7. Made in 2002. And it's a freaking good one.
And it's a remake. 13... Actually, Matthew Lillard again.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, buddy. 13 Ghosts.
I tried to watch that on acid and it bored me. But when I'm sober, I liked it. It was a very good, well-made
Very
movie.
good. Matthew Lillard... Like, for a horror movie, you're not expecting really good performances. But he gave a good one in that movie.
I don't know what you expect, but I expect the actors to do good.
Well, you expect. But I've watched some horror movies before, like... I act scared of that when I go to the bathroom. Just, the acting's not always up to par in a horror movie. But Matthew Lillard in that one, just...
Always.
He knocked it out of the park.
He did well.
13
like
Ghosts
his
was
ending.
amazing. No, poor dude.
So, number 6, made in 2003.
Eli Roth. That was our introduction to Eli Roth. Cabin Fever.
Who's
That
Eli
had a
Roth?
remake, and he remade it himself. He created Cabin Fever. He's a horror director.
Anything that I would actually associate him with?
No.
All right, you're going to have to show me a picture.
He's, like... Introduction to him was through Cabin Fever, and it was phenomenal. And every movie after that, for me, it wasn't able to live up to Cabin Fever. Ryder Strong was in Cabin Fever.
There's a couple in here. Not in here.
Yeah, he was in Boy Meets World as Sean. But where him and his friends are camping and find out the water or something's contaminated, so it's like flesh-eating virus, and their flesh starts like...
Please
it's
don't go into details.
It's not for the faint of heart. Like, I got a weak stomach. I was able to tolerate it, but parts of it were barely. So, if you have a weak stomach, maybe don't watch it, but it is a really good movie. Eli Roth did a great job in his debut with this movie. Just, I don't believe he lived up
to his standards.
Yeah.
So we're now down to number 5, which was made in 2003. I didn't appreciate this one.
This is the other inconsistency, or whatever it was I was mentioning earlier.
I didn't appreciate this one. And there's another one that goes to this whole series. I didn't like either.
Freddy vs. Jason. I was excited for it when it happened, because as a horror movie fan, like, I was so excited for it. Not as good as I was hoping for. But the thing that bugged me about it was, when Freddy and Jason are fighting, blah, blah, blah. The pipe breaks, so the water starts coming down, and Jason's scared. I was like, that doesn't make any
Jason
sense.
Sleeping? Because Freddy Krueger is the
No,
drunk guy.
the teenagers pull Freddy out. But
it's been a while.
it doesn't make any sense that Jason was scared of the water. Because
he drowned.
Yeah, but if you
That's why
watch
he's
the
scared of
actual
the water.
franchise, Jason walked in the water to get the teenagers hundreds of times.
Yeah.
He was never scared of the water before.
Yes, but that's probably the idea of why they put it in there. Right?
I enjoyed it for what it was. Even though I knew who was going to win the fight.
And who?
Jason. And the only reason I knew is because when they were both alive, Jason was a little boy. Freddy was a child killer.
Child bad, yeah. No.
Yeah,
they burned him to death. That's why he was the way he was, wasn't it?
Yeah, so Jason was obviously the lesser of two evils there.
Definitely. Number 4. And it's 2004.
Okay.
I don't like these ones as much, but
This was
me.
I don't consider this one gory at all. This is a movie I watched. As soon as it was over, I watched it again. Saw.
That's conviction.
The original Saw.
That's what the little guy clown thingy. Isn't
Yeah.
it? Yeah, no, I don't appreciate those ones as much. I don't know why.
Where the two guys are chained up in a room and Jigsaw. It's our introduction to Jigsaw.
That's the little clown dude, right? With the
No, Jigsaw is Tobin Bell's character. The little clown dude's Billy. Jigsaw's the one that
See?
designs the traps, and
I
but he
thought it was
does
all
it.
interconnected. That was
He
just it.
does it to get people to appreciate their life more. Like, how
You
far
could
are
do it
you
a little
willing to
better than
go
that.
to live?
Like kill other people.
Yeah.
Well,
Well, he never really made people kill other people.
no,
It's what are
you
you
don't
willing
make
to
it.
do to appreciate your life? And they're all bad people. It's not like he's doing it to like some innocent mother off the street. Like, they're criminals and drug addicts and.
It's kind of like Dexter.
Oh,
You know
Dexter.
what I mean?
I could do a whole other video just talking about Dexter, but this is a movie channel.
Right. So number 3, 2011. We skipped a few years. I guess there was no good ones in those.
There was a few in there. Cabin in the Woods. I like this one because it was the cliche friends at a cabin, monsters show up. But to find out it's because it has to happen every few years or the world will end. The sacrifice.
Is that the one I seen? Or
Could
is it
be.
the other one? Because there's one I seen with you.
Oh, no, that's coming up.
Okay.
But this one here is like, they actually do like a lottery. Like, the people in the deep, deep basement of this cabin take polls. Who are we going to get this time? The merlady or serial killer type thing? But they're monsters. And once the people enter the cabin, they fall into the cliches of a horror movie. Like, there's the really promiscuous woman, the jock, the stoner. But they're not like that outside normally, because they say at one point, like, when
With
has
the
she
brains.
ever acted like that? She's there too.
She. Haha.
Yeah.
Not a male.
But
So
you
I've
find
never seen this
out
one.
these movies supposedly happen because they need to sacrifice these teenagers to save the world type deal. It was a great premise and great idea. There's a couple performances in the movie I didn't really care for. A couple, not a lot. But I liked it a lot.
Number 2, 2012.
Technically it's number 3. Because remember, I
okay.
won twice. So we're on 3.
That's his fault,
Okay.
not mine. All right, number 3, 2012.
Daniel Radcliffe. Harry Potter. The Woman in Black. Based way back.
I don't know if I saw that or not. It
Really good. He goes
a
to
bell,
like
but it might have been just a clip.
I don't know if it's a mansion or something, but it's haunted by the Woman in Black. And I'm not going to talk too much about it. Like, I seen this one in a theater. And it was just amazing. They made a sequel, but I haven't seen it. He's not in it. Different cast altogether. But very well done movie. Enjoyed it.
All right, so number 2, it is 2, right?
Yeah.
For 2013.
Mama.
Mama.
Oh, Mama. Okay. We'll have to watch this one sometime. 2 little girls become orphans.
Aw.
So they go.
Sad.
I think. I haven't seen it in a while. They go to live with. I don't know. Maybe it's their dad.
I don't want to
Their,
listen to this
their
one.
mother dies, but they go to live with
Somebody else?
another couple, and their mom, spirit, follows them. Oh yeah, they're living in a cabin by themselves and like in the woods, and Mama follows them. And at first, people they're staying with assume it's an imaginary friend. It's not an imaginary friend. It's Mama, and what a movie. We're going to end it off with this one because this is
the
just
number 1, 2023.
This is just last year. Seen it in theater. It was amazing. Got her to watch it. The great M. Night
That's an interesting
Shyamalan.
one. The what?
Knock at the Cabin
I actually kind of enjoyed it.
with the great Dave Bautista.
That's the wrestler, right?
Yeah. Now
I
I've
know
had
it
this
is.
conversation with friends before. Just to throw this out there, I might do a whole separate video about it. Dave Bautista is the best wrestler turned actor, as far as range goes.
There's quite a few of them that have turned actors.
Yeah, but he's the best one, as far as ability goes.
Yeah, 'cause
Like
he's
John Cena's
diverse.
funny.
He can play a diverse.
The Rock can be funny, but if you watch, The Rock's the same character in every fucking movie he does, really. Other than like Jumanji or something. Like,
Tooth Fairy. Fuck you,
Yeah.
Tooth Fairy.
but Dave
That's an odd one.
Bautista's the only one who's actually tried to own his craft and develop. So Dave Bautista's the best wrestler turned actor. And Knock at the Cabin, if you haven't seen it yet,
You should.
4 strangers show up at the couple's cabin. You guys have to sacrifice one of you to save the world.
Yep, there's 3 of
But
them.
we can't choose for you. You have to. The whole point is you have to do it yourself. And of course they don't believe him. Who would? Right? Like.
And
so-
mind you, it's a same-sex couple, which is
It
kind
is.
of great.
Oh, there was so many people upset about that when it came out, but fuck them.
People, are you upset about other people? Give it up. It's like 2025 almost. Like, seriously, who cares? People are humans and we should treat them as such. Sorry, I like to rant. There's someone that's not on here that I think should be, like Tarot. It's a good movie.
Oh, Tara's a good one. But yeah, Knock at the Cabin was just... If you haven't seen it yet, watch it. The ending, it actually did surprise me a little bit.
Yeah.
They did change the ending from the book, which I understand once I found out what the actual ending was.
Oh, that just...
But we won't get into that if you haven't seen the movie yet.
I'm glad it didn't end that way.
Yeah, it would have been so much worse if they had kept it the same.
I would have cried.
But that's my 50 favorite horror movies of all. Now, granted, I'm not gonna sit here and say I've seen every horror movie ever made.
The ones he's seen.
But I've seen more than is healthy. Because I love movies. You know, I love movies.
There's one that you still have to talk about. I don't know what it is.
Oh yeah, okay. I forgot.
She told me to remind you, and I did.
Most of my life, my parents not just my parents, like aunts, uncles, like this movie was so scary when it came out. Like it petrified so many people. People threw up in the theater. Everything. Like I was expecting this. Oh my god, this movie's gonna scar me for life. Like I was looking forward to it. The Exorcist. Maybe it's because it was so overhyped to me.
Amityville Horror's not on this list either.
No, I'm not a big fan of those kind of movies.
It's a horror movie, and it's based on a true story. Buddy really did kill his family.
I wasn't scared by The Exorcist. I mean, maybe for that time it was.
And Paranormal's not on here.
I hated Paranormal Activity.
The first one, I only watched one, and it scared me, like literally scared me, but not in the sense of like loud noise kind of scary.
I'm gonna tell you what happened when I watched Paranormal Activity. Because so many, like, nobody told me anything about it. They said, watch Paranormal Activity. It's really good. So I'll check it out. I love movies. So I watched it. An hour and 20 minutes into it, I'm like, is something going to happen?
It's a slow build-up, but it's scary.
The problem is, it's over after an hour and a half, and nothing happened until an hour and 20 minutes. Like, people, they were saying people walked out of the theater. They were bored of their fucking minds. Like, at least slam some cupboards or something.
I didn't mind the build-up for it. And there was things, small little intricate details.
Never got into Paranormal Activities.
I only watched one.
I never cared for the Blair Witch Project either. Hills Have
Eyes. I couldn't watch it after the rape scene, like the very first scene. I couldn't. It just couldn't.
The Hills Have Eyes is just.
And what about the one, the clowns? No, wait. They're really psychotic. The white face, bearded guy. Oh, it's a horror movie.
There's a lot of movies I could have put on this list, like Stephen King's It, and stuff like that. But I have so much Stephen King on there, and
he's a horror. Movies. He does horror, especially
Stephen King's It,
Golden Years, Rose Red. Sometimes they come back. All kinds.
But I didn't want to saturate it with all one thing. I want some diversity on here
because you want to appreciate more than just him. He is very well done.
There's been a few Stephen King movies I did not care for whatsoever. Like Cujo was really good too. That was almost on there as well. But then I realized I got all these other ones right in a row. And
some I didn't even know were Stephen King. It's kind of cool.
So, that's my favorite horror movies of all time. So many of them. If you haven't seen them, check them out. We'd love to hear some of yours in the comments below.
Absolutely. And any suggestions of what ones you want him to do? Please, by all means.
If you want me to review a movie, I'll look for it. I'll review it. I'll rate it on my rating system. I don't do stars. I do willows. That's what I do, just to be different.
Nothing wrong with different.
So let us know what you think of the list in the comments below.
And who knows?
Until next time, everybody.
Take care.
Thanks for watching.